All right.
Hello, you alright?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't hear you one here.
You look different today.
Tired and
Yeah. You've done something with your hair, haven't you?
I've washed it.
No, that's probably what it is. It's freshly washed.
It's getting too
I
too
forgot.
long.
It's your annual hair wash, isn't it, on the 9th?
9th January every single year. Yeah, it looks weird. I can tell it looks weird.
Normally you've got so much more volume. You need a little bit of mousse on there.
No. Can't be asked.
All right, let's do it then. Can we do it?
Hello. Yeah, go on then.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Simon and Ross podcast. Joined as always by my esteemed friend and colleague, Mr. Simon Parker.
From across the Pennines, hello and welcome to Series 3.
Series 3, first guest episode of Series 3.
Yeah.
And we're going significantly further away from across the Pennines for this one.
I mean, probably crossing a few mountainous landscapes.
Yeah, and I mean, how many mountainous landscapes are there underneath the Atlantic?
No one will ever know, which is the beauty of it, Ross.
Have we plunged the... Is it true? I read this the other day, and I don't know how true it is, but apparently we know more about space than we do about the bottoms of our own oceans.
And some of us more than our own bottoms.
Yeah, certainly in my case.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's true. I think there's still what they call fish type people. oh, that's a good start.
Fish type people? What, mermaids?
Amphibious animals.
Marine biologists?
That'll do. I think there's a lot of them that they don't know about.
We don't know. So it's not the oceans. It's the marine biologists that we want to be questioning. We need to know more about them fuckers.
They're up to something.
Why are they keeping all the secrets?
Yeah, they know about all the fish. They know about all the fish.
Yeah.
They don't want to share it. That's all.
It's not through lack of technology that we don't know about our own oceans. It's those pesky marine biologists keep all the secrets.
Yeah, definitely. Is that better with my hair? Does my hair?
No, that's serial killer.
Does it?
Yeah.
I've literally just got out of the bath, so
that can only be described as a school shooter's fringe.
That's what I asked for when I went to the hairdressers as well.
Yeah, it's a bit. Yeah,
that's a bit Hitler now.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good, man.
Yeah,
you need to get some gel on that bitch and just fucking.
I think by the end of this, my hair will be like beffonted like that.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it's looking. It's
whenever you put it forward.
It's looking limp and lustrous.
Is it?
No, limp. That's better. Isn't it? That'll do, won't it?
Yeah, if you want to. Doesn't look like that fucking 10-year-old from About a Boy. A young Nick Nolte. Is it Nick Nolte? No, Nick
Nolte?
No, not Nick Nolte. Nicholas Holt.
Holt, yeah.
Holt.
How about that?
I mean, there's no rescuing it, Simon. I don't know what you've done.
I'd like all the bullets you have in your shot, please.
That'll do.
Yeah. You're just going to have to ride with it, Si. I mean, it's the worst I've ever seen it.
It is. It's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah. It is, yeah.
It's like I'm trying to look smart, but not quite doing it.
No one wants to get stuck between pedo, serial killer, Tudor. You've also got Tudor vibes there.
Oh, that's weird, isn't it? Should I just get a hat? Will a hat be better?
It'll help me.
What is that? That is the worst my hair's ever looked.
It feels like when you came online, somebody had taken the Simon that I knew and tried to make themselves look like him, but there was nothing they could do about the hair.
Is it like the photo fit version of me?
Yeah. It's unsettling. Now I know you, so it's not as scary. It's not as scary for me, but when our guest comes on,
if you're a 12-year-old boy.
Yeah, and when our guest comes on, it's going to think, Christ.
Yeah, I'm getting a hat.
What's going on there?
Get a hat, Ross. Get a hat. Howdy, y'all. Is that better, Ross?
Yeah, it'll have to be.
You wouldn't lie to me, would you, Ross?
No, but I would also go for modest honesty over brutal honesty.
Well, no, that's not true. Right. I either do or don't wear. See, it's already looking a bit better. Look at that. Let me just go back to the 90s. Just do proper centre. There you go. That's Bart at church. There you go.
Yeah, it's bad that.
Can I?
I think you're fine.
How much left to pay for you to touch it?
They actually know more about space than they do the deep sea.
That guy's definitely played Pilot or Pedo a few times.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what that haircut is. It's a mixture of both a pilot and a pedo.
I think the hat's coming back on.
What if you put the cap on backwards? Yeah, that'll do. You look like a Hermes driver.
You'll stand with your parcel a little more while I take a picture of it. Not allowed to touch you.
I farted on it. It looks like that shouldn't say Vodafone; it should say FedEx. I think it's because of the blue shirt as well. You basically are. You've shit out today, haven't you?
Yeah. All right. So anyway, here's the music, and we'll be joined by our guest after it. Please enjoy.
Anders?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, buddy. All right?
Yeah. Hold on. Gotta get my camera working.
Okay. So, Anders, how you doing,
Hello,
man?
Anders.
What's going on, guys?
Good to see you. Simon?
Good to see you
Anders,
too.
Anders, Simon?
Hello.
Nice to meet you, man.
What's your real name?
Anders.
So, yeah. Anders as opposed to Anders.
So it's a 2 A's at the beginning.
No, it's Swedish. My family's
Right,
Swedish,
okay.
so, yeah.
Yeah. And is Wickerstrom's, is it pronounced with a W or a V?
In Swedish, it's Wickstrom, but in America, it's Wickstrom. Or
Yeah,
other
yeah.
countries.
Yeah. Anders Wickstrom.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might have to message me to let me spell that.
Well, it's spelt as you would say it. It's spelt, well, you can see it on the screen, and Wickerstrom is...
All I can see is
just
Anders.
W.
Oh yeah, that bit I got. Fine with that bit. That's safe. That's safe. That bit. Don't worry.
We've just been having a bit of for the last 5 minutes, Anders. I've just been sort of... Simon's done something with his hair and his clothes, and he's sort of come dressed as a FedEx delivery driver, and it's kind of thrown.
He got pretty for me. That's awesome.
No, he hasn't. He's gone the other
It's
way.
backfired. It's backfired.
He's come dressed as either a school shooter or a paedophile.
When can I get you to come caddy for me?
the choice is yours. Which one you get?
Can we combine them?
They very often do. So
Well,
yeah,
it's
that's
very
fine.
it's a very simple adjustment. So what you're looking at right now is either a delivery driver or a pedo pilot. And now, if you take the hat off, school shooter.
Oh, actually, it could go either way.
Yeah.
Anders, in all the years I've known Simon, I've never known there's something going on with his hair today. We can't quite figure out what it is.
I think it's dyed on top of my head. Just all of it.
It's proper limp dick, isn't it? It's gone limp dick.
Yeah.
It's lost all will to.
It's finally sort of just given up. It looks. Oh yeah, that's why the hat's staying.
Actually, can you take the hat off? Can we just do it with hair?
No.
Would you have even noticed it if I hadn't? Or did you get a shock?
No, I felt it. I felt it wasn't quite working already. It was about 30 seconds before you joined the call, and then I looked at myself and thought, who is that? I've even got a Clark Kent going on as well now, which is just weird.
I reckon it's that limp. If somebody flushed the toilet, it'd go.
Well, we've got a little while. Let's find
Or
out.
if somebody walks past, if somebody runs up the stairs too quickly, what was that?
You'll be able to see if I fart while I'm doing this, won't you? So,
Yeah. So there's
Oh.
not hiding.
oh. But you said the hat stain. I don't like wearing hats. Hats don't like me. I don't like them. But right now they're hiding a
You
multitude
need
of
to buy-
things.
I wish I had mine because that's too big for you, isn't it?
What good would it be if you could find yours?
Because I can show you how a hat should fit, how a hat should sit
Right,
properly on your head.
okay. Right, okay. Do I need to do it
Ross-
tighter? Is that what it is?
You need to be
Ross has the
tighter.
perfect head.
Yeah, I've been very, very harsh on him on this since we've logged in. It's only because I want him to look his best. That's all. Yeah.
Is Ross the project manager for this this operation?
Yeah.
Look, I don't want you looking like a whore.
He had lipstick smeared up here when he first came.
He's a fucking pimp.
One of my tits was hanging out my shirt. It was awful.
I hate when that happens, dude.
So Anders, it's good to have you on, man. I know you've been keen to get on, and we were just wrapping up. Well, we basically had how many weeks was it? 6 weeks off, something like that. Basically, the longest time without recording in 18 months.
Damn.
Where we just wanted to, because we haven't missed a week, have we?
No.
Since April 2020. That was,
Yeah.
that- and we haven't missed a week since. So it was like we did all of the Christmas ones right through November. So we were recording almost every day, weren't we, in November?
Yeah.
And then we released all of those right through December. And now you're the first guest of Series 3 in 2022.
Nice.
How does that make you feel?
We're gonna kick it off. This is gonna be horrible. Let's start the year off with a shitty podcast with Anders. He's gonna fuck it up.
To be fair, that's exactly how Ross sold it to me. So you're not going to let us down.
No, I wasn't saying this podcast is shitty. Just Anders makes it shitty.
That's why I sold it to Sai back in April 2020. I said, you fancy doing an absolutely shit podcast? Really shit.
If you can think of the worst podcast you've ever listened to, then dial it down by at least 8.
Yeah,
And that'll be
well,
us.
Yeah,
I
with,
mean-
with about as much structure as Simon's 2022 Fringe.
I mean, the first thing you guys started talking about was pedophiles when I got in, so that set the bar pretty fucking low for me.
Well, me sort of criticizing how Simon looks and what he's wearing and how he's just presenting himself isn't just this isn't unique to the podcast. This is a regular morning occurrence.
You're a bully.
He's frequently disappointed by the way I look.
Oh,
Well, you know,
dude,
what's
I can
funny? Go
Simon,
on,
I can
Anders,
hook
sorry.
you up with an HR if you need help.
At least let me have a look at the forms, and
Okay.
then they'll see how we go.
We're
Because-
not unionizing.
Once I've signed it, that's a whole world of shit we're entering into, and we've got another like 52 episodes to record. So maybe near the end I might put the feelers out.
Yeah.
It's just one page. It says "get fucked" at the top.
Oh,
you
right,
hand it-
okay, yeah,
And you
that's
hand
fine.
it to Ross.
Yeah. That's fine. I mean, he'll only read it in GIF form, so as long as I can send it as a meme, then I'm all right.
I think we can work with that.
That's fine.
I think what's funny is I was saying this morning, Fatima and I are going on holiday on Saturday next week. We're going to Abu Dhabi for 2 weeks. And I've been packing the suitcase this morning. So basically, I know exactly what I'm taking. I'm an absolute princess when it comes to packing and going on holiday. And it's like, right, I've got my leisure shorts. I've got my smart casual shorts. I've got my training shorts. Repeat that process for shirts. Repeat that process for boxers. Yeah. It's a very well-defined, well-structured process. Otherwise, I'll get
How
there
do you
in time.
define? How do you define a sports casual short? As in boxes?
Well, there's 3 types of short in my
Right, okay,
singular
okay.
in my suitcase. First one,
Right.
Training. Yeah.
Right.
So
Tighter.
like- no, you're not training tight shorts. I do
Oh,
it-
right. Okay.
You do a squat in a tight
get
short, you'll
loose.
shit yourself.
It's
Right.
got to be able to move, dude.
Yeah,
To be fair, you can sneeze and do that, Ross.
yeah, it's true. So there's the short that's loose for training, but doesn't have a mesh. Yeah, because that's the swimming short. Has the
I
mesh.
hate
yeah,
the mesh.
Naturally.
Cradles the balls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cradles.
Yeah.
Not
Stop
squish
them.
his cradles.
Yeah. Just
Don't
cradles
squish
nice.
cradle.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the first two, and then the third one
Right.
is like it's shorts, but it's like cotton or like jean shorts or cargo shorts. You wouldn't swim or train in those, but the smart casual or smart casual. Well, I don't think there's such a thing as smart casual shorts, but casual shorts.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next time.
Yeah. All right, guys.
I'm glad I got that. I'm glad I got all that off my chest. I've been holding that in all night. How the fuck am I going to categorize these shorts on air?
You got it listed out. Oh my god, this is going to be good talking points.
The point I was originally making is
In a minute, you're just seeing cross out shorts on his list.
Not good. Didn't fly.
Don't use at the Palladium.
no short gags. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the point I was going to make, it's a really roundabout way of saying, I'd said to Fatima earlier, I said, I'm going to be wearing shit clobber all week because all my good clobber is in my suitcase for Abu Dhabi. Yeah. So I came on today and fucking Simon, you rock up like that.
All I didn't tell you is I'm going away for 6 months. So this is literally the only thing I haven't packed. I've got my good hair in the suitcase.
You're on
So,
the register for much longer than that, though, aren't you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So that's enough about us, Anders. Well, sorry, that's enough about Ross's shorts. Before we get too much further, who are you? Where are you? Why are you? When are you? How are you? What is you? Who are you? Who are you? Where are you? Why are you? When are you? How are you? What is you? Say what is you? Who are you? Where are you? Why are you? When are you? How are you? What is you? I say what is you? Who are you? Where are you? Why are you? When are you? How are you? What is you? I say what is you? So there you go. Could you answer them, please?
Did you have all the seizures or just a couple?
Did you guys tell me you guys recorded that yourselves? Is that you guys?
Yeah.
Oh, everything's original, Anders. Everything's original.
Oh my god. The production value on that is peak.
Thanks very much. It took 17 hours.
I think I'm going to start
all
with.
I wanted to do was talk about shorts.
I think I'll start with what is I?
Okay.
What is you?
I is human.
Very good.
Homo erectus or Homo sapien?
Straight
Homo
sapien.
flaccid.
Straight sapien.
Well, I'm Anders, obviously. What am I? What the heck? Who? I was just that just blew my mind. I love that.
I think you're the first person to start with the existential question, which is what is you?
Yeah, what is I?
I think you're the first one to tackle that head on, but usually people leave that to the end.
Just get it out of the way. Get the big one out of the way.
Yeah.
So I've just got the simple ones.
What is I?
Yeah.
Human, straight sapien, onwards.
Who am I? I don't know, dude. That's a hard question. So it's hard to wrap yourself up in just a few words or sentences, other than my name. Because I mean, Ross, you know me, obviously. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, yep. Who am I? I'm Anders. That's you.
There you go. Another one done. Bang.
And those were the only two I could remember because I was just so blown away by the in the background. That got me really excited.
Bang,
I'll say
bang, bang, bang.
Yeah. That is 100% British comedy right there. I think you guys nailed it. When I think of that shit, yeah, like IT crowd, that stuff, that's gold.
Believe it or not, people actually want that as a meditation tape. That jingle there.
Just you having a deep tissue massage.
Yeah, I would not listen to that for 10 minutes straight while doing yoga. I would start to seize probably. And I would go internally into my head and I'd start to ask myself these questions and then I would become brain dead.
Then it served its purpose.
Yeah, long after the jingle is finished, you'll be just staring off into the distance going, Who am I? What is I?
Yeah, I'm
That's not
gonna
healthy.
I'm gonna be cursing you guys later today when I start singing that in my head. Fucking Brits.
One person did actually ask for it as their ringtone.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea.
It always sounds like a good idea. Simon's had a couple of our jingles as his ringtone. It's always a good idea until you're on a train surrounded by people and they look at you like you're a psychopath and your Fringe is fine. It's a good Fringe day, but the ringtone gets you. It's a goddamn minefield out there.
So today I better just leave my phone at home if I go out, hadn't I?
Yeah.
Don't want to embarrass myself any further.
Yeah.
Fringe, bad shirt, and ringtone is a bad combination. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever hear the Christmas jingle, Anders, for What Meats?
For what meats?
All right. You have to play him that. Play him. That's an award-winning jingle.
So over Christmas, obviously we asked a lot of people to come on and tell us about their favorite, like their Christmas, basically. And at some point during the podcast, Ross would ask what meats they want for their Christmas dinner, and then that became its own jingle, which I'm just trying to find. I mean, it's not too dissimilar. You pretty much nailed it already.
What meats? Ham, beef, pork, lamb,
chicken crown,
white giblets, barbecued tuna steak. What meats? What meats? What meats? What meats? White giblets. What meats? 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 Bell whiffer.
Ham hot. That is fucking priceless.
So that's currently my ringtone whenever Ross rings me.
What meat?
Yeah. So anytime he rings me, every time he rings, I always say I need to change that ringtone, and I always forget. And then he rings me, and I think I need to change that ringtone because I can just hear him first. It's like, is Ross in the room, and why is he asking me what meats? And now that it's a bloody ringtone again.
Every time Simon picked up the phone, he'd be laughing, and I was like, "Go on, and what's the joke?" I've obviously just called 10 seconds too late because someone's just said something hilarious, and it's not. He's just been, what meats? Ham, beef, pork, lamb shank, chicken crown, white giblets, barbecued tuna steak.
You guys probably gonna have so many of those.
So you've answered. Who are you? Where are you?
I'm in New Hampshire, United States.
Right. Okay. Is it nice?
It's yeah. It's pretty nice.
Is it snowy? Is it snowy now?
Yeah, we got snow. We actually got.
That's just a wall.
They're just walls.
Yeah, just look at there's walls.
Oh, yeah.
No, you gotta lean back. There's a window over there. As you can see, we got some snow right here.
Yeah, pissing it down.
That's it.
Yeah, we got a lot of English, like
Sunshine
you guys
on
have.
this wall, snow on that wall.
We get a lot of English weather, like you guys. So,
New Hampshire is far more severe than anything we fucking get. Christ alive, we don't really. Oh my god, yeah, Jesus. We'll get a bit of snow and we get really excited about it because if you like snow, you do. I love snow, so I get excited about it. When it starts snowing, you're like that. Oh, you start looking at the ground. Is the ground dry? Is it going to set? The amount of people that ask that question, do you think it's going to set? Because it never.
No. It's been raining it was raining before, so it's never going to set. That's not. Yeah. It's not going to settle. Yeah. It's not going to settle.
It's too cold overnight. It's just going to freeze.
Those clouds look heavy and grey. Oh, it's definitely going to snow today.
Yeah,
but it's not going to settle because
it's not going to set. It's not going to set. Yeah, but in New Hampshire, it always sets without fail. There's an amazing. I loved it. There was days at school cancelled because of snow. Yeah, we haven't had a snow day since 1983. I don't think I've ever had a snow day.
Are you born? Are you alive then?
I wasn't. Simon was. Well, I was born in '88, but I'm told that '83 was the last snow day.
But he's making that up. That's not real.
Back in my day, we had snow days.
we will get snow, and if it sets, it'll stick around for maybe like a week at most, and then it's gone, and you won't see, and it'll all be gone, and you won't see it again for a year. That's it.
But the problem is because we're so unprepared for it. As soon as snow lands on the ground, everything just shits itself. We can't deal with it.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm guessing. I know in other countries by law you've got to change your tires to winter tires as soon as it hits winter, just in case. We've got slicks on in the middle of winter. You know, so
everybody goes out in their F1.
Pretty much, yeah. Wondering why they're crashing. Yeah,
everyone crashes.
Everyone crashes. I tried to get to work, went up the hill down here. I had to turn around and end up crashing into the corner of my own street because I wasn't prepared for it.
Yeah.
And you know, we just can't. The train stop, the buses stop, everything just stops for like literally one day because we have no idea what we're doing with it.
In New Hampshire, there's so many 4x4s around.
Yeah.
So many.
Yeah.
It's because they're completely weatherproof. You can, you know, whereas you're not going to get fucking Mandy in a Peugeot 306 tackling that lot. Oh, yeah. Yeah, bugger.
They're walking down to a pink car with an ice pick.
Even in the mornings, it gets us. Everyone's late for work because you're waiting for the car to defrost.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys don't plan ahead.
No, we're fucking useless with snow, man. It's because we don't. It's just not. Very rarely is it. It's never severe, really, is it? Like once every few years, it'll be like it never goes above a yellow. So our weather warnings like yellow. It's like it's going to snow, but it's probably not going to set. Yeah, but visibility will be bad if you're on the roads. Amber warning. That's like holy fuck, there's an amber warning in it.
Save yourselves. Save yourselves.
You guys have amber warnings.
Yeah, everyone goes out looting. Everyone goes out looting the stores if there's an amber warning.
Isn't
amber warning in
very
America
close to yellow?
Hey,
isn't amber basically yellow?
Well, yeah, it goes yellow, amber, red.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. It can't go green because that just looks like a nice springtime meadow. You got nothing to worry about. It's a green weather warning. We're at risk of having a really nice day.
In America, an amber warning or amber alert is what happens when a child has been abducted. So I just figured you were talking about weather and
talking my language.
Yeah, so we're gonna get some snow. Oh shit, it's amber. Everyone's kids are getting abducted today.
Amber weather warning. Yeah, the abductors are out. Not hip pedos.
Right. So, and why are you?
And whereabouts are you at now in New Hampshire, Anders?
In New Hampshire?
Yeah.
I'm in Concord.
Ah, I went to Concord. Yeah, I really liked it. Is that close to it's the capital, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Good memory.
Yeah, I only went once as well for about 4 or 5 hours, but it was really nice. And we went to
like it was about to snow, so we left.
I think it wasn't snowing when we went. I don't think, but it was. Isn't there there's a fort? Isn't there a quite popular fort close to Concord, if not in fucking hell, what was it called? On the coast? No, it's not. It can't be because it's not on the. Is it a peninsula?
Concord? No, it's like dead set in the middle of the state. Yeah. It must have. The thing is, we had the 3 days where we did a bit of a round trip of places that I've never been before and never been since. So it all kind of merged into one. But we spent a few hours in Concord, and was there a president that lived in Concord, from fucking hundreds of years ago? Like one of the first 10 or 20 presidents had a house in was from Concord or something. Oh, dude, you're asking the wrong person about history.
Well, I'm sorry. We did ask you on this podcast. We would have assumed you'd have known about all the presidents that have been in Concord, let alone born in Concord.
I wish I got the study guide. It was not emailed to me.
Ross will send you his notes later.
You're never coming on again on this.
To be fair, I think I'm sort of ridiculously passionate about I know loads about my hometown, and I think I sort of assume that everybody is the same as me. Like everyone has could be a history guide as to their own town. It is just me.
Well, I've just been living here too long that I just don't give a shit anymore about it. Yeah, I need to move on. You know.
Yeah. Well, at least you knew it was the capital. It's a state capital. Is it?
Are we gonna do blocks next and colors?
In all seriousness, no. New Hampshire is absolutely stunning, Si. When I studied over there, I had a choice between New Hampshire, Indianapolis, or West Virginia. And I researched all three of them and chose New Hampshire just because of how beautiful it was. And it's just, I mean, it's like 70% woodland and mountains, isn't it?
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And then
Trying to get rid of that stuff.
Be gone by the end of the year.
Yeah. So do you live is it like residential where you are, or is it in the sticks?
Yeah, it's like in the sticks.
Ross wants to know your exact address, please.
All right, my coordinates are 7 by north.
And why are you?
Why? I think because my parents fucked.
Taylor's old as time.
Go on.
I don't want to go into detail.
No,
Do you have any?
I do.
Do you have any proof?
Yeah. They actually made a tape. It's up online.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I don't know as much about your parents' sex lives as I do about where you live. Oh yeah, Daddy likes this
didn't they
technique.
fuck a president?
Reverse cowgirl, I think.
Jesus.
Um,
I can't tell any of my family I was on a podcast because I just said that.
It's cool. If any of Anna's parents listen to this, that was completely on me, not your son. With many instances of that over the next few hours.
and how are you?
I'm good. Just started a new job, so I'm excited to actually get paid what I'm worth. So, yeah.
What doing?
I'm a field engineer for a networking company, so I go help people with their internet.
Oh, you're one of those guys, eh? I didn't think you guys existed.
No, we don't. Actually, I gotta go.
I've heard a lot about these guys who come around and fix your internet. I've never seen them. I've heard about them. I've been promised one plenty of times.
You've seen them turn up at the lonely housewife's apartment to fix the internet, but he's never got around to it, has he?
No, just followed by this weird saxophone.
How did you know I played saxophone?
He's only got lube in his toolbox. What good's that?
What the fuck are you gonna do with that?
It's car lube, though.
You do realize I asked for Virgin internet.
That's an English joke.
Yeah.
So. So we've asked you here today to talk about your top 5 movies.
Mm-hmm.
How did you find making the list?
That was hard, dude. I minored in film, so it's really hard to pick a top 5 favorite of stuff because I've seen so much film in my life. Had a huge passion for it, so I actually wrote down like freaking 10. So I'll pick up. I went above and beyond for this for you guys.
Okay,
I didn't get that study guide.
Have you got any clues for any of the ones that didn't quite get into your top 5 for us to guess?
Not really, but
okay. Could you make some clues up very quickly for us?
Yeah, I can just wing it.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's what we want.
Like,
welcome to the world of Simon and Ross.
All right, so the first one, it's a horror movie.
Okay.
And it's in much like how Ross loves the upper northeast of America. It's in an area like that. It's very wooded and snowy.
Is it was it been released in the last 10 years?
No.
20 years?
No.
Is it 30 years?
Was it released in the 70s?
Yeah, around that time.
Is it based on a book?
Yeah.
Is it a Stephen King book?
Yeah.
Did it feature an axe?
Yeah.
Did it feature the phrase, "Here's Johnny"?
It did.
Oh,
That was
carry.
an improvised
Texas
line.
Chainsaw
Actually.
Massacre.
That's it. Nail it right on the head.
So we're talking
Okay.
about on 3, Simon. 1, 2, 3.
The Shining.
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 That's one of my favorites too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
the intro to it is just gives me goosebumps every time. I love that audio.
You're almost cutting your mic out there, Si.
All right, sorry.
Doing it again will achieve the same result.
Put it
sorry.
in your
definition of
mouth.
insanity.
Put the mic in your mouth.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what I recognised.
You knew you'd seen this Fringe before.
Just the Fringe.
It's all you say anyway. So yeah, The Shining. It's I think it's one of those collectively for us. It's probably one of our collective favorite films. I think it's the first Stanley Kubrick film I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Probably one of the first Jack Nicholson films I've seen actually as well.
No, I think mine was Clockwork Orange was the first Kubrick film I saw.
I've seen
And
that. I have to.
Jack Nicholson, I think the first Jack Nicholson film I saw was Batman.
Oh, actually, no,
Batman
you're
Begins.
right. You're right.
Yeah,
That's
no,
probably
it was
right.
Batman. Yeah. That was, but the earliest Jack Nicholson film I've seen was Easy Rider.
Yeah.
Which is, that's Peter Fonda and Dennis Hopper and Jack Nicholson before he was even known to be that. Because I think Stephen King didn't like Kubrick's Shining, did he?
No, he didn't.
No.
He did not.
No.
And I get it. And Stephen King ended up redoing it and doing his own series, which was with Rebecca Mornay and I can't remember who played Jack Torrance now.
De Mornay.
Hey,
Rebecca De Mornay.
De Mornay.
Yeah, De Mornay. Yeah.
And she was
That's
far
fair.
better than that other lass who was just annoying as fuck.
Shelley.
Shelley Duvall.
Dude, Kubrick was so mean to that poor woman on set.
She was horrible.
Verbal abuse.
She was
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, not to, but-
I think she looked forward to like action just to get relief away from him, to actually deal with the horrors that we saw, to get away from the real horrors behind the camera. It sounded like he literally tormented her every single minute of the day. Yeah. But it got a good performance, didn't it? So it's all right.
Is she married to Robert?
No,
Are they separate? No. Okay.
no, I don't think so. Are they brother and sister though? I don't know.
Maybe. There was an interesting thing that I read about The Shining, because it was one of my favorite sounders for we did a Halloween special last year. Well, no, we didn't do one this year, did we? We did one last year, Halloween special.
Yeah.
And we had our favorite horror films, and The Shining was might have been both of ours actually.
I think it was in mine as well. Yeah.
And I was reading about what they did to rile Jack Nicholson up to get him into sort of psycho mode, and obviously that here's Johnny moment was completely unscripted. But what they did was he apparently hates egg sarnies sandwiches. He hates egg sandwiches.
Yeah.
So they only let him eat egg sandwiches.
Is this why he's just such a grumpy person?
Yeah.
He's still carrying it with him now.
But it's interesting, isn't it? Because the whole point is that Jack Torrance is supposed to be a character that slowly goes crazy over time.
Yeah.
And the reason why Jack Nicholson was criticized by Stephen King and fans of the Stephen King version is that Jack Nicholson was already known for playing crazy characters off the back of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah.
So he already had that reputation for playing characters that were unhinged.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever you see Jack Nicholson, he's never completely sane, is he? No matter what role he's in, he looks like he's about to go fucking bang. Like,
even off camera.
Yeah. And that's not what Jack Torrance is supposed to be, a man who you couldn't imagine going crazy, but he does.
Yeah.
So
so that's why King didn't like it.
Yeah, he thought Jack Nicholson was a bad choice. He always said it was a good performance for what it was, but it was a bad choice for what he was trying to do. Because I don't know if you've seen the series. Have you seen the series?
I have not. No.
Well, that's much truer to the book And Jack Torrance is actually a much nicer, much more normal bloke compared to how Jack Nicholson portrays it. And that descent into madness is far more gradual. In Kubrick's version, he's fucking mental before they've even got there. He's showing signs of being mental.
Yeah,
because he's like a recovering alcoholic, isn't he? And he's like, they're doing this sort of part because it's a good opportunity for him, but also because the family needs some time together because they're on the verge of breaking down as a family unit because of his problems with alcohol. All of this stuff that means he's already crazy, whereas in the book and in the series, none of that is really a thing.
That's awesome.
No.
I never knew that about Jack Nicholson's character for that.
Yeah,
I feel like now knowing that information, I feel like it would have made his because if they could have made Jack Nicholson's character a lot more relatable, it would have given people a different kind of an emotional feel at the end when he finally did go insane. So
yeah, and he that whole sort of Jack Torrance wrestles with himself the whole time about like he knows he's going crazy, and every like he has a lot of fights with his wife, like as in physical, like in Stanley Kubrick's version, he just chases them. His wife is pathetic and she's just screaming and running away. Whereas in the book and in the series, she's actually a much stronger woman. And they physically come to blows several times throughout the story where he's trying to get to the son to kill him. Yeah. And she's just beating the fuck out of him and she's grabbing anything she can get and just fending him off. And she's a much stronger maternal character. Whereas in Kubrick's version, she's just fucking annoying as hell. But this whole idea of him chasing him around the maze and freezing in that maze doesn't happen. Doesn't happen at all in the book or the series. He actually starts to realize what he's doing. He keeps having these moments where he'll become almost sane again, and he'll try and stop himself from harming his wife and his son. Yeah, and the actual book and the series ends with him letting his family escape while he blows the hotel up from the inside. Because the hotel is a character in itself, right? The hotel is the thing that's responsible for him losing his mind, and it's using him as a conduit to kill his family. So he basically doesn't dump the boiler. He doesn't reset the boiler. So the pressure builds up and up and up, and it blows up, and he sacrifices himself and the hotel so his family can escape, which obviously again is totally different to how Kubrick decided to do it.
I seem to remember in the book as well, there's a bit where he smashes his own face up with a sledgehammer, doesn't he? So he's not recognizable. Yeah. So, which obviously, if I was Jack Nicholson, I wouldn't want to film that bit either. You know, I want to be recognizable through the whole film, guys.
Did you guys see Dr. Sleep?
Yeah, recently, actually, only recently.
Yeah. So I guess his son, in the films, they decided to go how it should have ended in the book, because I
haven't read the Dr. Sleep book actually, and I keep
the end of Dr. Sleep is really the end of the book of The Shining. Really. But they obviously use the way that the film finishes to make the second one. Yeah, but I thought it was really good. I wasn't expecting much from it, but I watched it anyway, and I love the fact that it sort of turned into The Shining at the end. Yeah, it very much filmed the same way, and obviously they managed to recreate the carpet even on the floor, and a lot of that, which I thought was really clever.
The blood in the elevator. Did you see the blowjob bunnies? Were there? Yeah, weren't they?
No, they were doing the Duracell adverts.
The Duracell.
Keeps going and going. My dick's been ripped off. I can't, but I'm still having fun.
Stop, please stop. Somebody pass me a really small screwdriver, please.
Yeah, I only watched Dr. Sleep about 3 or 4 months ago for the first time, and it was 10 times better than what I was expecting. I didn't realize it. My worry was that it sort of hadn't been taken seriously enough, and it was a bit throwaway, and it was just a bunch of sort of amateur filmmakers who decided to do it. But I was completely wrong. It was actually really, really good. I enjoyed the whole thing. I thought that those like vampire type people were like, it was a whole new element which made it
Yeah.
more interesting. And then, yeah, in the final sort of half an hour, when it became apparent that they were going back to the Overlook, Fatima hasn't seen the original Shining and she hasn't read the book, and she's not. I'm a Stephen King freak. Like, I'm obsessed with that. One of my favorite authors. So
I'm gonna get that.
As a fan, it was like, oh my god, they're going back to the fucking Overlook. This is good. And then when you see it and it's exactly the same, and they start recreating the scenes from the original Shining, it's a real Shining nerds wet dream.
Yeah.
You know,
I think I was concerned that it was just literally going to be a bit of a rip off The Shining and just like a remake essentially. And I was almost glad that they didn't start it at the Overlook. But then when they went to the Overlook, like goosebumps were starting to come up. He's like, oh, they're going back. They're going back. Brilliant.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it even looks like the set. Oh, the weird thing is the carpet always stuck with me because we had a very similar carpet, and I used to drive my toy cars around the road like Danny does in that. So I think that's why it stuck in my head a little bit. I still do it.
Was that last week? Yeah.
Yeah.
If you Anders, do you read much Stephen King? Many of Stephen King's books?
I haven't. No.
So there's one thing that the films don't reflect as much as the books is that the Stephen King. It's a universe. It's like the Marvel cinematic universe. And the books like to the stories refer to one another. And Stephen King's latest book, I actually stopped reading Stephen King a few years ago because I read 2 books on the trot that I didn't like at all, and I was a bit gutted. I thought, he's just not as good. And then he released one last year called Billy Summers. And it got a load of sort of good reviews. A couple of podcasts that I listened to talked about Billy Summers and how they've gotten on to Stephen King because of this book. I thought, fucking, I'm going to have to read this. So I got it. Fantastic book. But there was a point in it where Billy Summers is basically he's a hitman. The book is about an assassin who sort of breaks his last contract. And it sounds cliche, but there's a lot more to it, and it's really good. Anyway, there's a scene where he's sat in this hideout, and he's also a really talented writer, is this hitman, and he's trying to hone his writing skills because he thinks that when he finally stops being an assassin, he might become an author. So whenever he has downtime, he starts writing, and he doesn't tell anybody. And so every other chapter, you'll read a chapter about what is actually happening, and then the next chapter will be a chapter from the book that the assassin is writing, and it's loosely connected to his own life. And you've got to connect what has actually happened in his life versus what he's trying to cover up because he's the protagonist in his own story. So it's a really interesting dynamic. And there's one point where he's sat and he's basically trying to find inspiration to write this next chapter in his book, and he's looking out over is it Colorado where The Shining's set? So yes, it's the Overlook in Colorado, isn't it? And he's looking over the sort of Colorado, this mountain range, and he sees smoke coming up in the distance. And he's looking, and he's like, I wonder what that is. And there's a painting up on the wall, and he looks, and he thinks that this painting changes into like a demonic type thing, and he looks back at it, and it isn't. It's fine. Bearing in mind, Billy Summers isn't a supernatural book at all. So the fact that he thinks this painting has just changed and then changed back again is really out of theme with the rest of the book. Later on, there's a radio playing in the background, and it talks about a fire in the Overlook Hotel. And that point in Billy Summers is exactly the same point when Jack Torrance blows up the Overlook Hotel in The Shining, and that's the smoke you can see. So as the hotel blows up, all of these weird things start happening in the area because the idea is this demonic presence is just reaching out for anything that it can grab onto rather than perish. And that leaks into a 2021 Stephen King book about an assassin. So there's all these cool, if like me, you're a fucking nerd when it comes to this shit, you really look forward to finding that type of stuff in these books.
Is it pretty ambiguous, or did you have to like piece that together yourself?
No, it's there because he's in Colorado. You know that there's a reference. I can't remember the exact reference, but the Overlook is referred to at some point. Because he's looking for a good place to hide in Colorado, and there's a loose mention of the Overlook, and then he sort of as a potential place to hide out, but then he sacks it off because it's too far up this mountain. He wants somewhere easy, more accessible, so he doesn't go there.
Isn't The Shining kind of like what binds most of his books? Because like in The Dark Towers, the kid in that, he has something like The Shining. In it, all those kids together have The Shining, and or like a version of it. So I heard that about Stephen King.
Yeah, Green Mile, same thing.
Green Mile, yep. That's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, Green Mile's quality. I'm trying to think of any others where there'd be a good example of. Like you could say The Stand, the big deaf dumb guy. He like has these premonitions, and then there's a blind guy who also has premonitions. You could say they have a version of The Shining.
Yeah,
but yes, you're right. There are lots of recurring characters who seem to have this inherent ability to do and see weird shit. Yeah, good one. What, Simon? Any final remarks on The Shining?
No, I'm writing down that. What was the Billy book?
Billy Summers.
Billy Buckham. Yeah, Summers.
Billy Bearham.
Billy Bearham. Yeah, that's fine. Right.
What
Yeah,
meets? What meets?
Billy Bearham. Yeah, next one, number 6, effectively.
All right, I'll start with the actor, so that will probably make it easier. But this is pretty. I'm hoping to stump you guys with this one. It's Colin Farrell.
Okay.
And he is an assassin.
Is he? Is Brendan Gleeson in this film?
Maybe.
Is it set in Belgium?
Is it in Bruges?
You fucker! You
In
fuckers.
Bruges!
You fuckers!
In Bruges.
In
I
Bruges.
love that movie.
What are we gonna do in fucking Bruges?
Where the fuck am I in Bruges?
The fucking elephants.
Has he been to the Basilica? Does he like the Basilica? That is, you are the third or maybe fourth person to have that on the list.
I don't think it's been in anyone's actual top 5, but it tends to be people's 6th or 7th favorite.
It's always
film.
up there, isn't it?
It's always up there.
Yeah.
Quite rightly. Quite rightly.
Yeah, it's just comedic gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ray Fiennes is just special in that, isn't he?
So,
I love the scene when he's at his the boss's house or whatever, and he's like, "Take that bit about my cunt wife back," or "cunt kids" or something like that.
One of my favorite scenes is when he's like, because obviously Ray Fiennes is, and we've said this before on another episode, is obviously I can't remember his name now, but Ray Fiennes' character, it's important to him that Colin Farrell enjoys his final days.
Yeah.
And that's why he sends him to Bruges, because Bruges is Ray Fiennes' idea of the best place to be. Yeah. It's like, if you're going to spend your final days anywhere, where would it be? Bruges. But he's the only one who thinks that.
It's a fairy tale place.
Yeah.
Those castles are shit.
So when it becomes apparent, when he's talking to Brendan Gleeson on the phone, and Brendan Gleeson clocks on, he realizes, oh shit, we're here, so I can assassinate.
yeah.
Colin Farrell. It's annoying me that I can't remember the fucking names. Character
Ray.
name. Ray.
Yeah.
Who is that? Ray
Harry.
Fiennes.
That's Colin Farrell. Ray Fiennes is Harry.
Harry, Ray, and who's Brendan Gleeson's character?
Ken.
Ken. Harry, Ray, and Ken.
Yeah.
It's all Street Fighter characters. I think. Maybe not Ray. Maybe that's something else. Yeah, and he's like quizzing him, isn't he? He's like, "What do you mean he's not having a good time?" And it really, really bothers him, this idea that he's not having a good time. Have you taken him to the cathedral? Has he been down the canal? What do you mean he's not having a good time? And then he realizes, he's like, "Oh, I fucking know why he needs to have a good time, because I've got to kill him," you know?
Yeah. I think it's one of the good films that it's really, really funny until it's not funny. It becomes very serious for a little while. Then it's funny again, and then it's very serious. Especially at the end. We talked about it before. For some reason, you think Brendan Gleeson's going to survive that drop somehow, and then when his knees explode on impact, you think, well, maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah, he ain't surviving that.
Yeah, there's no crawling away from that.
It's when they're having a shootout and they're in the like sort of B&B, they're in the motel, and it's just like when you're playing as kids and you're playing army, and we used to, you'd be like, right, and like there'd be some rule where like, nah, you've got to let me come out and you've got to give me like 10 seconds before you start shooting. It's like, yeah, will you though? Fucking will you little prick? And that's what
and then your mum comes up the stairs and you got to wait until she's out of the way to carry on. Yeah.
We used to, like, when we were kids, we used to love, there was fucking loads of us who lived on the street. Most of us didn't even have fucking guns. We literally just had our hands.
They don't give you kids guns?
No, strangely enough.
As they don't do them. The closest we could get was a tin of beans. Tin of beans with a cheese string on it. So,
or if you posh beans and sausages,
or sausage grenades, sausage nades.
If your dad's just been paid, you get beans and sausages.
cluster pork, we call them. But yeah, you would have these weird rules where you'd be like, we sort of created these really complex rules where it's like, if there's so many people in this base and one person is trying to get out, then these people have got to give that person 20 seconds and you can't shoot for. And you would literally pause the game and you'd be like, right, let's talk about this situation. And everyone would come out and you go, he's got 20 seconds. No one's allowed to shoot, right? And but if as soon as he passes that point, we can all go after him and shoot him. And you would think, obviously, every game involved like someone going, bang, bang, I got you. And then, no, I fucking got you. No, I got you. And it was that sort of dynamic between Ray and Harry.
Yeah.
Ray and Harry, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I wasn't expecting much. Obviously, Colin Farrell being in it, you never do quite expect that much, do you? But in that one, it's kind of the perfect film for him.
Yeah.
I take it that he's actually seemed to have got better as he's aged, I think.
He's good.
I think he's had some good films recently. I think his early career was a bit sketchy. If you've ever seen Daredevil,
yeah, that was not good.
Oi, bullseye! Oi, never miss!
He's like, all right, okay,
Colin. Has anybody seen slight change of tack? But I wanted to ask you guys this, and I've made a note of it, and I'll do it now before I forget. Has anybody watched Don't Look Up?
No.
Oh,
it's Leonardo DiCaprio and fucking
Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, last year. No, I haven't seen it.
I think it came out Christmas Day or something.
Watch that.
Really?
It was so good. It was fucking brilliant. We watched it the other night. I was like, wow, I enjoyed it.
Everything I've read about it says that it's terrible.
No, it's not. Just they're kids. They're Call of Duty fans.
I saw a meme about that.
It's going to talk about your mum than anything.
Right. Okay.
COD fans, man, ignore them. No, it's really good. If you want to be a dick about it, then yeah, you can criticize it, but don't be.
Yeah. All right.
Just be subjective.
I was just going on what I've been told, Ross.
It's really good satire. There's not many satires that carry that sort of gravity in the plot these days.
Right, okay.
Like going back to Kubrick, my favorite Kubrick film, Dr. Strangelove.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's that type of apocalyptic narrative, but it's a comedy. How the fuck do you do that?
Yeah.
And there's not many, but the good ones are good. Shaun of the Dead is a good example of one of those type of things. How the fuck do you make this funny? It's got to be good. And that was a prime example where all the way through, it's quite a long film. I was just sat there.
Yeah.
I kept pausing and saying to Fatima, that was amazing, that bit there. Like that was it's really good. Get on that film.
I think he improvised the part where he couldn't stop doing the salute.
Yeah.
When he's I'm pretty sure he improvised that. Which was really funny.
I think as well.
Stop.
I think he's one of the few people that Kubrick allowed to do any sort of ad-libbing at all, because he was very strict in regards to, it's on the page, you say it and you say it how I want you to. Whereas I think he's one of the few people that he allowed to do whatever he wanted to. One, because it was Peter Sellers and he was a bit of a comic genius anyway, and obviously it worked. So yeah, I want to watch that as well now.
Wait, is that
you can't fight in here? This is the war room.
Yeah.
Wait, Peter Sellers, isn't that Clouseau?
Yeah. I
did not know that was him.
He plays about 5 different characters in that film.
Yeah,
It was the 60s version of Eddie Murphy.
I like when the general is like goes on these rants and then he falls over that chair, and there was like one of the only slapstick moments in the entire film, but it's there and it's important that it's there. And it's just he gets up and he's fucking going off on one, and then he goes to shout at someone and just trips over the chair and just rolls across the floor and just pops up and carries on. That's one of my favourite bits. Is that? But watch Don't Look Up, both of you, because that's really, really good. I'd be very keen to get your thoughts on it. And lastly, before Anders can go into his top 5, is I also for the very first time last night watched Catch Me If You Can.
What do you think?
Really?
I've never seen it. Yeah, never seen it.
How you managed to avoid it?
I know we had it on. I was saying to Fatima, we had
You've
it on
actively tried to avoid it, haven't you? You've actively avoided it.
No, we. I think it's whenever it's come up as an option, something better has been on the table.
Yeah.
And we used to have it when I was growing up. We had a pufter. You know what a pufter is, don't you? Something you put your feet on when you sat on the sofa. I think they're called tuffets. I always just call them.
Just a poof.
Yeah, a poof. Yeah. But ours was one of them that folded up, and inside was a big storage thing, and it was full of DVDs.
Right. Okay.
And Catch Me If You Can was in there.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, I was always like, and I just never thought it looked that appealing. And it was on the other night, so we recorded it and then watched it, and it's good. I liked it. It's a bit unusual.
I liked it. I liked it. I think it's I think at the time, I think there's Tom Hanks film, and I can't remember what it's called, where he's managing a band or something. It's loosely based on the Beatles, I think. I sort of get confused between That Thing You Do. It's called. I sort of intertwine the two, so I always think it's the shit one, and it's not. And every time I watch it, it's a bit like Gladiator for you. If it's on, no matter where it is, I'll just watch the rest of it.
Watch it, yeah.
Just watch it. And it's such a good film. And I love the fact that he became, investigator for the FBI to stop people doing the things that he did.
He was like an expert forger, wasn't he?
Yeah, because he was the best.
Yeah. And he was a 17-year-old lad.
Yeah.
You also
it was way easier doing stuff like that back then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He did it with a box of crayons. You can't do shit like that now.
Yeah.
And an old typewriter.
He did it with a lighter and a pack of Billy Bear ham, didn't he? But yeah, you're right. I think back then, murder, I'm told,
everyone was doing it. Everyone was
a lot easier to get away with. Yeah.
Back in my day, you could get away with murder.
But then there was like a massive influx, wasn't there, of cold case? It was like great to be a cold case worker when DNA and fingerprint technology came out, because all of a sudden you could just go back and think, fucking hell, look at all this old evidence.
Yeah. And
it's covered in fingerprints that we can now connect back to a database. So there was loads of cold cases solved and that. But you didn't have any of that. Imagine being a detective back then, like, okay, we got nothing, got an out. You know what I mean? What do you do? Oh, fuck all, yeah. There's a theory, isn't there?
What about CCTV footage? It's not been invented yet. Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's that theory, isn't there? Forensic theory called Lockhart's something. It's basically like there is no way a human can pass through a space without leaving a trace.
Yeah.
And that's what detectives go off. And that's like when you read these old sort of detective books, a lot of them refer to this theory. And it's like, well, if this person was here, then there will be a trace of them and we'll be able to find it. But without the technology, it's like, I found a hair. Could it be theirs? Maybe. I don't know. Let's follow it, see what happens.
What's it taste like?
Yeah. Can't even tell if it's a pube or Simon's Fringe.
Same thing at the moment. Next time on the Simon and Ross podcast.
And I did it, and the cork just ripped. And I was like, "Oh shit!" It just completely the cork just bang, and it's.
Then you push it down. You push it down.
Not enough.
Let's cork it.
Not enough has come out. Not enough
You
is
can get it.
splintered. So
Believe me, if you want to get that, you can push it down. I've done that many times.
Yeah, but then you get cork in your wine, don't you? That happened
Yeah, then
with-
you have a little tea sieve that you put over your glass.
That happened with a chocolate block wine, red wine. I had to push the cork and fucking it tainted it.
Have you tried one of the
Tainted.
BJ rabbits? That'll get it out.
The what?
The BJ rabbits, Energizer rabbits.
Or just suck it out.
Yeah, suck it out.
It's siphoning petrol, isn't it?
3 days it was there for. It got it in the end though. Have you not tried that thing? There's that thing where you can hammer it against the wall and it sort of pushes it out.
You're not fooling me with this again, Si. Couldn't walk for 3 days.